Hey there, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Montreal Marijuana Canadian Cannabis. For today, we have a super special episode because after more than 150 videos and almost 2 years of posting on YouTube, I'm finally gonna be showing you guys how I clean my grinder. So let's check it out. And here we have it, team. Absolutely everything you're going to need to clean your grinder. First of all, of course, I have my grinder here. Definitely could use a little cleaning. Next, we're going to need, of course, some ISO alcohol. I have 99% here. As you can see, I've already used it. You could keep using it, which is absolutely awesome and definitely saves you money. I have an old toothbrush here and a little scrub just in case I need to get into some little crevices. I have a little plastic container here so I could put the ISO in so that I could just dump my little grinder inside and make sure all the little nooks and crannies are getting hit. And last but not least, I have a little pick here so that I could pick up all my keef from the bottom two containers before cleaning them out. So first what I'm going to do is we're going to put all this stuff aside and I'm going to take apart my grinder so we could clean it one piece at a time. So here we have it. We have our top piece right here with all our little diamonds. We have our second half with the holes in the diamonds. We're going to take that off here. Right here we have my first set of screens. Take a quick look. You could see starting to get dirty on the outside. Starting to get a few of those holes that get them blocked up, so that's no good, and that's going to be the reason we're cleaning it. It's not really crazy dirty yet, even though I've had it for almost 2 years now and haven't cleaned it. Still, the only reason I clean it is because of that screen. So let's take off that first screen and see what kind of keef we have after our first screen. Boom! Look at that beautiful stuff. Now, again, you could see a little bit of plant matter in there. It's going to be the bigger size screen. And right under, if you look carefully, you could see there's an even smaller screen. So what I'm going to do is we're going to gather up all this beautiful keef. Let's do that right now. Make sure we miss the least amount possible because after we gather this up, I'm going to be cleaning it. So let's just scrape it all off the sides here. Make sure we don't miss anything. Make sure all that goodness is coming with us. Now the best way to do it, number one, is just to scrape like I'm doing now. Scrape as much as you can. And once you're done scraping, you're going to turn it upside down. Here, let's do that now. I'm going to unscrew it from the bottom. We'll keep the bottom a secret for now, and I'll show you the good keef later. So let's just hide that. Whoop. Put that aside. So here we have our okay keef, or our bad keef. What I'm going to do right here is just turn it upside down. Give it a few knocks. And as you can see, there's still a little bit sticking there. So I'm going to clean again. Come on again with my little pick. And just start scraping as much as I can. Really don't want to lose any. Want to get as much of that beautiful keef as I can here. So gonna keep scraping. Give it a few more taps. And that's gonna be us. So right now, this guy is ready to be cleaned. So now we have our 4 pieces here ready to be cleaned. Let's go for our last but definitely not least, our good keef. Look at that. So as you can see, a lot less particulates than the last one did. It's going to be a nice sandy kind of color. Really not much of it, of course, because this is only going to be the good quality stuff. Everything else is going to be caught in the screen beforehand. So this stuff is going to be absolutely primo. Sorry, I'm going to try and keep it in the screen here. I know it's annoying. There we have it. Look at that beautiful, beautiful keefy goodness. So what I'm going to do actually is instead of putting this away, we're going to take a nice fat rip of this keefy goodness before we start off our grinding video, just so we could do it right. So let's do that now. And here we have it, all our beautiful, gorgeous keef. We'll get a quick shot here. Hopefully it looks nice. And let's try this stuff out. So I'm just going to grab a nice spoonful here. Not a crazy amount, but to be honest, when you're dealing with keef, it's all going to be a crazy amount. Somehow I forgot my lighter, which is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe I've got one here. I'm not sure if this one works actually. And it doesn't. So I'm going to be right back in a few seconds with a lighter that works. Why the heck wasn't I prepared in the first place? See you guys soon. Hey there team, so I'm back. We found a lighter, crisis averted. So now let's try out our beautiful keef before we clean up our grinder. Cheers. Man, do I love a good keef hit. So now that everything's put away, all of our pieces are ready to be cleaned, we're gonna grab our container here. Doesn't really matter how big it is. You just want to make sure it's not too big so you don't have to use too much alcohol. And we're gonna grab our alcohol here, open up the top. Again, doesn't matter if it's brand new, if you've used it before. That's what's awesome about ISO. Another little trick I have actually is to make it work even better. You put it in the microwave for just a little bit. Really not long. You don't want to get it hot. You just want to get it a little lukewarm. So we have just a little bit here, just enough to cover all our pieces. And we're going to start with our top piece here and boom. Just dump it in just like that. That is all you have to do. No crazy shaking, no crazy scraping, no hard work, absolutely nothing. You just leave that bad boy in there for a bit. Now, if the color of my ISO was completely clear like it should be when you buy it, you would notice right now that the color is beginning to change. But because mine is used already, you can't really tell the difference in color, but man, can you tell how clean it is. Just look at that, just from it sitting in there. Now, if you want it to be a little extra clean, you can definitely do that. I do, so what I do is I dip my little toothbrush in here, I scrape a little bit on the side, really not much again, because this ISO is 99%, and because you warmed it up, it's really gonna work super quickly and not be any effort at all. So there we have it. After just a few seconds, this bad boy is clean. So let's move on to our next piece here. We have our top. So let's put that bad boy in just like the last one. We're going to give it a few seconds of sitting around in here. Really not long. Turn it around a bit. Make sure it all gets covered. Every little bit gets covered. What I'm going to do with this actually is turn it upside down so all that gets to fall out. And you want to what? Actually, I'm going to put another piece of paper under this so I don't ruin my table. Let me come back in one more second. Okay, so we are back. This bad boy's been sitting for a minute or so. I have another little piece of newspaper under here so I don't ruin my table. And now, all we have to do, again, little bit of scraping here. Just a little bit, really not much. Again, I'm not cleaning this because it's dirty. I'm mostly just cleaning it because I want the screen to work properly. So that's going to be the only negative about having a grinder with the screen, is that if it gets clogged, you're really not going to get the amount of keef dropping that you would expect. So that's why every so often I clean it, not because it gets too gunked up, not because it stops working, not because it won't turn or it looks ugly, just because I want to get the most keef possible. So look at that bad boy shine. Absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to catch the outside edge here where that O-ring is, because if it were to catch, this is generally one of the reasons why. So we're just going to catch the outside of this here, Make sure it's all clean. As you could see, brand new, looking absolutely great. Now let's get the underside where all those threads are, because that could also be annoying. If it doesn't catch on the threads, it's really frustrating. So one last pass. Let's dip that in here one last time. Make sure all that excess is off. And there you have it. Clean top. So let's put that aside right next to our other piece. And let's go on to our first screen. So this is going to be our worst screen. As you could see, definitely has a little bit of blockage going on. So let's fix that right now. Just drop it on in there exactly like the last time. Really don't have to do anything crazy. Don't have to scrub too much. Don't have to shake like an idiot. All you have to do is drop it on in there. Now I'm going to turn it around to make sure I get that other side. Now one special thing about my grinder that isn't going to be the same as your grinder, chances are, but because I have a canister, as you could see here, I could just spin the bottom off. Meaning, if I wanted to, I could just clean the screens, I could just replace the screens, I could just work with the screens and not get anything else dirty, which is absolutely awesome. One of my favorite things about canister. Let's just take this bad boy off right now so I could show you exactly what it looks like, just the screen. And here we have it, our beautiful screen. Here we have the piece that it goes on. Absolutely awesome. So this is why I love my canister grinder, because the screens can be taken off, replaced, super easy to clean, super awesome. So I'm going to put this piece down now that I've actually taken it off. Let's clean them one at a time here. So dump that down a few times, make sure it's fully saturated, hit all the edges here, hit around the sides, make sure I get that threading so the threading is clean. Might as well clean, whoop, falling everywhere. Might as well clean everywhere now that I'm doing it. It's not a big job, but it does take a little bit of time. So just make sure you get everywhere so you don't have to do it again. And look at that. As you can see, it still has a little bit of ISO in there, but just perfectly clean in a few easy seconds. So put that bad boy down. Now we're going to grab this part, the part that was holding it, dip it a few times. Again, just real quick with the toothbrush. Nothing big. Same thing here. Real quick with the toothbrush. Nothing big. And then boom. Exactly like brand new. All it has to do is be dried off a little bit and you will be good. So let's put that bad boy down. We're almost done. Here we have our good screen. So like you probably know already, we're just gonna dip it on down here. Give it a few seconds so that it all gets covered. Dip the other side here. And now we could try and undo it. Ooh, this one got nice and gunked up. We had some good keef buildup here. There we have it. So again, that's why you're gonna wanna clean it, because you end up getting some beautiful keef building up. It won't open anymore, and it's gonna be hard to clean, hard to replace. So if you do it about every 6 months to a year, you should be perfect. So let's take our good screen here, dump it in our ISO just like we always do. There we go, turn it around. Beautiful. Now we're just gonna clean it a little bit on the edge, clean it around the edges here, dip it one more time, and that bad boy's ready. Just a few seconds. And now here, again, we're gonna wanna get both sides. So make sure it's fully dipped everywhere again. Scrape it just a few seconds. Really no hard work, no elbow grease. Super easy. I even have a soft toothbrush. Not even have to use a hard, scrapey, abrasive toothbrush. Just a little bit of pressure will get everything off there. And now we are done. So our last piece right here that holds our good keef is going to be the one that is most caked. So if you have any trouble with anything, it's going to be this one. But as you could see, this warm ISO does not mess around. It does not let anyone make it look stupid. It beats all of its adversaries. Look at that. Just a few seconds in, and I am almost perfectly clean. Once I take off this ISO, all you're going to see is a beautiful, shiny grinder ready to be used. Now, of course, you're going to have to wait a bit. You're not only going to have to wait a bit, but you're going to have to rinse off the ISO to make sure it's all gone. But that is super easy, and man, is it worth it. Just look at that. Brand new, clean grinder. I'm going to put her back together, and then what we're going to do is see exactly how well she works now. And here we have it, team. Our grinder is officially rinsed off and completely dry. As you can see, it just flows, turns so easily. Absolutely awesome. Beautiful, clean grinder. Exactly what you want. Now, just to see exactly how well it works, let's take this beautiful 2-gram nug. Make sure there's no stems in here. We're just gonna dump this beautiful, compact, dense nuggetry right into our grinder here. Boom, just taking out the stem. Look at all that flour. Just give it a few turns here. Really not much at all. You can see how easy it's working. And boom, just a few turns and you could see all that beautiful, beautiful flour. Absolutely awesome. So that's why you're gonna want to clean your grinder. Hope that my how to clean your grinder video helped. Now you know all you need is warm ISO and maybe a toothbrush. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next week. And as always, peace and love. No cheers, but look at that clean grinder. Woohoo!